Hello, I am a private researcher and the founder of Health Recoup. This is a consultancy and alternative remedy supply service for those who are concerned with what they put into their bodies, especially chemical or synthetic preparations. The population is rapidly increasing and the recession is cutting jobs, even in the health sector. As a result, staff are being overworked, mistakes can easily take place, and where such mistakes take place, the patient is always on the receiving end. And with the cost of living getting higher, it is always handy to have immediate access to those who are trained and qualified to understand drugs, their effects and on the body, and why there are such responses, giving you, the patient, the opportunity to better be informed about what you are putting into your body. As mentioned earlier, we are private researchers and as a result have access to unadulterated herbs and other alternative forms of remedy which we supply to our clients. Now, the research we are involved in involves my son, who is autistic. That's him that's the picture of him grinning widely, and you'll get to know him even better in the next couple of slides. This is my son James. He is autistic and has not spoken since he was 2. Before now, his approach had usually been zombie-like. As he has grown older, there has been some eye contact, but only if he is expecting something or when you call his name. But you can see, he's looking directly at me with a huge grin on his face, responding to me, playing and laughing. James is a teenager now, but from what I have observed, if I had started him on these herbal and supplemental preparations before now, perhaps 10 or 12 years ago, while the body and brain were still developing, I'm very sure he would at least be talking by now. Based on research, my pharmaceutical practice skills and education, I have started to give him a preparation of amino acids, blood circulatory herbal supplements, and an apple tonic. It has been 4 weeks now, and as you can see in the next couple of slides, he is much happier, very affectionate, and is enjoying his music thoroughly. Okay, starting it? Yes. Okay, you can stop it now. This is not what he is like when we travel. He is either agitated or somber and withdrawn for most of any trip we take, whether the music is playing or not. James hugged me voluntarily and kept hugging me for at least 2 minutes for the first time since he was diagnosed with autism, and in church. You perhaps can tell that his sudden move was unexpected even for him. It definitely took me and my daughter by surprise. She had the presence of mind to take some pictures. A month ago, James would never have hugged me and hugged me for that length of time, no matter the situation or circumstance. Autistic children like to keep some distance between themselves and others. This is encouraging and confirms that I am implementing the right therapeutic approach. Like most teenagers, James does not like to make his own bed, but he went ahead and did it anyway, understanding my instructions clearly. There is still a lot of work to be done, as James still cannot talk, but I am confident that as his understanding continues to develop, he will eventually understand himself, others, and his environment, enough to be able to communicate verbally, and to be able to stop risperidone completely, one of the drugs that has been prescribed to him. To see the before pictures of him and additional clips of his positive development, please visit www.brilliomere.com. But this is not entirely about James, but about what advice I can provide to you based on information I have uncovered through my attempts at finding a remedy for my son via research papers and applied investigations. But first, let me properly introduce myself. Oh, get it. Oh, get it. Oh, get it. JJ, no. Stay still. Sit still. Oh, get it. Oh, get it. Oh, get it. Oh, get it. JJ, sit still. Boy, sit still. Oh.
Get it, get it. Oh, get it, get it. Oh, get it, oh, get it, oh, get it. Get it, get it, get it, get it, get it, get it, get it. Oh, get it, get it. Hey. Oh, get it, get it. Oh, get it, get it. Okay, still, still. Oh, get it. Jay. Oh, get it. Oh, get it. Wait, they're making you smile now. Yay. Ah, where is he? 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 There he is. Where is he? Where is he? Where is he? Okay. Okay. JJ.
My name is Rebecca Uda Agbajo. I am married with 4 children. 2 of my youngest are autistic, and the youngest you have already met has not spoken since he was 2. He also suffers from ADHD and now is 16 years of age. I am the founder of Health Recoup, the avenue through which I provide advice and supply natural remedies. I have trained as a surgical and anesthetic assistant and have a degree in pharmacology. And since my 2 were diagnosed with autism, I have been researching its causes and remedies. In fact, it was one of the reasons why I chose to study pharmacology. In addition to this, I'm training in homeopathy and have found that it has been effective for me where other treatments have failed. In the course of my studies, I had developed an avid interest in herbal and ethnobiotics to the point where I did my thesis on the antimicrobial properties of Afromoma meleguata, or alligator pepper. The seeds of this plant, if extracted with alcohol, is effective on Salmonella and E. coli. And this is primarily due to its phytochemical properties. One such chemical is phenol, which is the same type of compound used in disinfectant. Other chemical compounds found in this seed of this spice are tannins and alkaloids, and they provide analgesic and antispasmodic relief. Tannin, another chemical found, has stringent properties and is effective in speedy closure of wounds. The seeds of alligator pepper has wide and varied therapeutic applications. From there, I developed the skill and interest in promoting healing, and primarily through herbs, their seeds and natural supplements, which as I have mentioned earlier, I have been giving my son, and the rest of my family have also benefited from these natural remedies. My studies has helped me to better understand drugs, their components, and how they work in us. Bringing up my 2 youngest and studying has been exhausting, but my faith in God, herbal and homeopathic supplementation that I put together, and support of my family is what has helped me keep going. It is this support that has also helped me continue my research and investigations into the most effective treatment for my son. I have been practicing pharmacology since I received my certificate 10 years ago. However, in the course of my research, I still discover new things that help me in my quest. For those who don't know, pharmacology is basically divided into 2 branches: pharmacodynamics, which is the study of how drugs affect the body, in other words, how the body reacts to the drugs, and pharmacokinetics, how the body affects drugs, or in other words, the drug's fate. Through research, it has been discovered that drugs can have different outcomes. For example, aspirin, which was originally manufactured purely for analgesic purposes, was discovered to be also a blood thinner. For most with heart problems, that is a good thing. However, for those who need aspirin for pain, blood thinning can create unpleasant side effects. Another example is Viagra, which was aimed at treating chest problems associated with the heart, called angina pectoris. It was manufactured to widen blood vessels, which it did. Blood vessels in other parts of the body also, creating an embarrassing side effect, prominently in the male genitalia region. A drug can be created to aim for a certain area of the body, but the body itself can find other uses for it based on the gender and molecular receptor affinity. I believe that this is how the mumps, measles and rubella jab culminated in the emergence of an irreversible side effect called autism. Once I discovered what studying this subject would expose me to, I knew that I would get some answers to my questions about autism. It was this, and the fact that my sons were no longer the bright and responsive children that they used to be, that drove me to the levels beyond what is normal to come up with what I believe is now helping my son. I have put together, using my knowledge and research skills, a natural way of helping him focus and be more responsive and happier. An effort that I might add was noticed in a short space of time, and it all revolves around energizing the brain to increase cognition. To briefly explain, the effective transmission of messages in the brain necessitates neurons to be efficient in fulfilling their roles. One of the requirements involves sufficient amounts of chemical energy found in adenosine triphosphate, or ATP. The release of ATP is the result of food consumed becoming calories that is turned into energy through metabolism. This process is called cellular respiration. Based on research, it is this metabolic energy within the brain that fires the neurons. While most cells in the body burn fat and sugar, neurons only burn sugar, further emphasizing the importance of glucose metabolism. Carmen de Jimenez de Espinosa discovered that metabolic alterations in autistic children, particularly in the frontal lobe, are quite pronounced. She discovered upon further investigation that there appeared to be lower N-acetyl-aspartate creatine and myoinositol creatine in the bilateral anterior cingulated area of the brain than in compared to those of the healthy control group she used. Aspartate is one of the byproducts of oxalacetate, one of the byproducts as a result of the Krebs cycle. Escumin discovered that low glucose energy can have a degenerative effect on the brain, causing Alzheimer's disease, which is the decline in normal functioning of the brain. This again emphasizes the connection between glucose metabolism and proper functioning of neurons. It therefore follows that availability and effective release of energy is vital for the proper functioning within the brain. There is a lot more research material about these findings that have come to the same conclusion, and I have supplied references to them below. Let me further add that John Lombard says autism is a disorder of brain bioenergetic metabolism, and my research so far leads me to concur. Neurons require a lot of energy. They are constantly sending messages. A commentator on an OWLS forum article on the 15th of April 2015 said, and I quote, "Brains are high maintenance. All that thinking accounts for a whopping 25% of the glucose our body burns and 20% of the oxygen it consumes," unquote. It is this discovery that has led me to the route that I feel will improve the energy levels that will keep the neurons fired. Below are the testimonies of some of my clients that have benefited from the advice I have given them based on the research I have done.
Are you sure it's recording? I had been fighting recurring colds for so long. Even when I was taking cold and flu remedies, I would feel better, but not too long after I would start to feel symptoms again. Health Recupe asked me about my medical history and my diet, and they suggested, based on medical research, that I stop taking yogurt that contained cultures while I was treating myself for flu. I was so fed up, I was ready to try anything. Barely 2 days later, I felt so much better, and I hadn't had a cold or flu for close to a year now. I do continue to take yogurt with culture because I tend to get bloated, but as soon as I feel the signs of a cold, I stop it immediately and resume it when I feel my body is in the clear. Thanks, Health Recupe. That's not my slide.
Using my pharmacological and surgical background, I have not only started to understand and discover some of the detrimental factors responsible for my son's condition, but I have also come across other possible reasons for ill health and why some remedies do or do not work. Based on my knowledge, I have preferred my opinions to those who seek my advice, such as colleagues, friends, and family who are ailing, and I've always received from them a positive and encouraging responses, indicating that my advice or suggestion had been effective. The active part of herbs can be effective or lethal, and most herbal supplements do not come with drug information leaflets detailing the correct or most effective dosage, or the best time of the day to take them, or the possible side effects, or whether it is safe for children, pregnant or breastfeeding mothers. Here we will provide you with the type of information similar to prescription information leaflets, and all the information therein will be supported by publicized scientific papers. If you feel that you will benefit from our opinions, please register yourself on our site www.healthrecupe.info. As mentioned earlier, our investigations surrounding autism is still ongoing. Since funds are not forthcoming, we have to invite a charge of £57, part of which we put towards the ongoing research. However, the amount you pay covers a period of 6 months, within which you have access to us day or night via Skype, phone calls, or via messaging services. Phone calls are toll-free to discuss any herbal or prescription drug concerns you may have. You'll also get supplemental and herbal books, providing you with information regarding herbal and homeopathic remedies and the best way to prepare, preserve, and when to take them, free of charge. In addition, we also provide a discount for whatever we supply you with in the area of natural remedies. Just visit our website on www.healthrecupe.com. As a private researcher, what we use must be 100% pure and unadulterated. Otherwise, the outcome of our investigations will give false negative or false positive results. We first test what formulas we put together on ourselves and willing volunteers, and so we cannot afford to make compromises. I would also like you all to benefit from supplies that are, in my opinion, as a pharmacologist, natural and untainted. My chosen supplies only sell in bulk, so for being members and so that your membership entitlements stretch that bit further, and if you are a bit skeptical about the herbs and supplements you have been buying, then you are welcome to try ours. You can purchase them from us, any herb or supplement of your choice, at a 30% discount. If interested, please go again to www.healthrecupe.info. My specialty is all forms of natural remedies. However, we can also provide you information regarding prescription drugs, therapeutic indications and contraindications, as well as absolute and relative contraindications. Below our terms, you may find prescription leaflets that explain possible toxic effects. The following list is not exhaustive. Thank you for listening, and I hope this presentation has helped you to understand what we're all about and how we can help you.